Hey everybody! Today Rahdo rambles through a sad topic, the games that I left behind. Which basically means I'm going to be talking about the 120 so games that Jen and I got rid of when we decided it was time to leave Malta and move back to the States to help my mom in her golden years. And now, obviously, the reasons for getting rid is pretty self-evident, right? International move that was going to be taking place over multiple stages. We were just trying to keep costs down, and by keeping the weight down. There were just too many games, and so I was looking for any reason I could think of to get rid of some games. And the thing is, bear in mind, every game we got rid of, I wanted to keep. I had room for them on my shelves, and I definitely wanted to play them more. I wasn't ready to say sayonara, but again, I just felt like we had to get rid of some. It was time for a house cleaning. And how did I make those decisions? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And because this is a ramble, it's just me and you. There's nobody else watching. I'll try to be maybe a bit more blunt than I normally am and just, come out and say it. Although, again, I'll just do my typical, Rahdo's too positive up front and say, I like or love all of these games. I did not want to get rid of any of them. So there were no easy choices here. But I'm going to tell you why some stayed, these lived, and the other ones died. So, if you want to follow along, just fire up your browser and go to gone.rahdo.com. And you will find a list. This is all, I always keep this up to date, of every game, 724 games that we had at one point that we got rid of. And why. Every time we decide it's time to say goodbye to a game, I put notes in here, so it's available if anybody ever wants to go check it out. And by default, it's sorted by Board Game Geek's overall ranking. So, the number 4 game in the world, Terraforming Mars. Yeah, we got rid of it, and I'll tell you why right there. Same for Twilight Struggle and Gaia Project and Terra Mystica. But I need to resort this. So let's sort by comment, and then we're going to have to sort again, unfortunately, because, hey, back in 2014... it looks like I mentioned 10 days in Europe. This is probably when I set this list up, when I realized people wanted to know, because I just kept getting so much pressure about how many times you played a game. You never get rid of games. This is probably around the time I did my niceguy.rahdo.com, where I talk about, look, there are games we don't like. Let me tell you why. But anyway, let's sort again to get the most recent comments, because, of course, it was this year that we moved. It wasn't in 2014. So, okay, every single game, with a few exceptions here or there. This might be plus or minus 10 or 20 games, because things were crazy back in January, February when we were getting ready to move. But if I search by you can already did this once, international move, there are 116 games that I marked only got rid of it because of international move frowny face. These were the ones. And like I said, I know there were more than this, because I know there was more than 116, but you know what? 116 games, I think that's enough to talk about, right? So, let's get going. Should I start at the top or the bottom? I don't really know what order this is in. Are these, what's the secondary? Are they by, no they're not. The numbers seem to jump all over the place. And the rankings, over there. Are they alphabetical? No, they are not alphabetical. Are they alphabetical based on the comments? No. Or maybe, nice, TL. No, because these are both on the same day. And, all right, I don't know. Let's just go to the bottom and climb up. Why not? Alrighty, so, zoom. What do we got here? At the bottom. Okay, folks, 116 games. Why did I get rid of them? Starting with Inhabit the Earth from Richard Breeze. This is a nice game. We only got to play it a couple of times. I think we both really liked it. It was a neat little race game. And, yeah, I think... At the time, my internal logic was, race games are not necessarily our favorite thing. Someday I'll do a top 10 race games. Wait a minute, think about it. Was Inhabit the Earth a race game? I think it is. You know what, folks? Okay, here's the problem with Inhabit the Earth. I honestly don't remember. Clearly, it did not make as strong an impact on me and Jen because I'm trying to remember. Some games I've only played a couple of times years ago, I can remember like it was yesterday. Inhabit the Earth, I remember liking it. I remember thinking it was really clever. I remember Jen liked it more than me. I do remember that very specifically when we played it before I filmed it. But I think maybe I just chose this one because it just didn't stick in my gray matter. And is that a slam against the game? Maybe it is, but that's the first one. Then let's talk about Theseus the Dark Orbit. Now this one I remember very well. This was always going to be one of the ones I talked about if I ever did my top 10 games that feature a lot of conflict that Jen and I like. We really like this one a lot for the reasons I talked about. It's really clever. It's a sharp puzzle. And because I always played the evil, bad monsters and Jen always played the good, innocent scientist, or at least that's what she liked to pretend, for us, we were able to role play it and not be so bothered by the fact that we were actively trying to destroy each other and rip each other's stuff apart. But at the end of the day, that was still a problem. And, you know, it is definitely a situation where, okay, we could play a game where we're both building things, where we're peacefully coexisting, or we could play Theseus: The Dark Orbit. It's a really sharp, clever, unique game. It's a Mancala. It's a combat Mancala, where we're both fighting on the Mancala. That's really unique, but why would we play that if we could just play Trajan, if we're going to play a Mancala game? And that's what it came down to. I think for a lot of these, it's just going to be a case of, you could say Inhabit the Earth. Why would I play Inhabit the Earth when I could play Keyflower? Which I know I love from the same designer. Theseus, why would we play it when we can play Trajan? It's brilliant, it's sharp, we really liked it. You know, there was neat expansion content too, but it just didn't make sense to keep it. Because when would we ever play it? If we ever got a chance to go back and play games, which we almost never ever do. We always just have to keep moving forward like sharks playing the next game. But anyway, so that was the issue with Theseus, but we really did like it. Dingo's Dreams, okay. This one, I would have to look up. This is another case of, I could keep it, I like it, I love Ryan Lockett's art. Jen and I had a great time playing it. You can play it with me. You can go watch our run-through of it where we played with the live audience. You can see if you can beat us. But it's a bingo game, and the thing is, there are other bingo games that we like more. And at the end of the day, I thought to myself, right, if I'm getting rid of games, I don't need to have 3 or 4 bingo games. Dingo's Dream is not the best bingo. And by bingo, I mean a game where, like bingo, you know, a number is drawn from a hat. Everybody uses the same number and uses that to move themselves forward. Dingo's Dream does the same thing. It does some neat, clever stuff. But there are other bingo games we liked more, so it didn't keep it. If you're going to ask me what were the bingo games that we kept, I'd have to go to ranked.rahdo.com and look through the list and find whichever ones we kept. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I can't think of everything, folks, but there are other bingo games out there that we like more. The rock one, On Tour, is a bingo game that we liked more than Dingo's Dreams, as an example. So we could keep On Tour, or we could keep Dingo's. Actually, we have the prototype for On Tour. I haven't gotten the final one yet. Really like that one a lot. Liked Dingo's Dreams too. Beautiful, gorgeous, but not as clean and pure and simple and smooth. So didn't make it. Palmyra. This is a good tile laying game from Jeffrey Allers, I think. And yeah, we liked it. It's interesting. It's a pretty aggressive game, and I didn't remember that. We had played Palmyra. It was one of the earlier games in our gaming history, and we liked it, and we kept it. We played it several times, and at that point, I think we were a little bit more amenable to kind of, yeah, I will make moves designed to destroy you and hurt you and impede your progress. But as we played more and more games, our tastes have evolved, and we realized we don't have to play games like that, and Palmyra is definitely a tile-laying game like that, you know, because we're both... anytime you're tile laying to a common tableau, there's a danger of that, and Palmyra was just a little bit too aggressive. Again, that's gonna be probably another common refrain. It's like, okay, why play that when we have so many other tile laying games where we can just build our own little garden instead of try to outdo each other on the same garden. Oceanos, neat game. Liked it a lot. Gorgeous, cool, very interesting push your luck blended with card drafting. But, you know, I rated it a 7. And Seven Wonders, if you're going to card draft, why not play one of my top 10 games of all time? Seven Wonders meant there was no reason to keep Oceanos. I would happily play it. I would love to play it right now. It's a fun game, but that was just the thinking. It just kind of got replaced by something else. Because again, in our situation, we know we're never going to get to go back and play any games. If we do go back and get to play a game, and if we decide we're going to play a card drafting game, it'll probably be Fields of Green, to be honest, because I've played Seven Wonders so much. But Oceanos would be our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth. Oceanos would have made the cut. We would keep it because, hey, I would love to play it again sometime if I were a normal person. But I'm not. And then we've got Blue Moon City. Right. Reiner Knizia game. Oh, I'll be honest. I got rid of that one for kind of cutthroat reasons. I don't think it had been widely known at the time that I got rid of this that Blue Moon City was getting a reprint. And it's been an out of print for years. And I realized, oh, if I got rid of this, I could get a pretty decent price for it. Maybe even turn a profit. Because I was crazy lucky. I picked it up a few years ago at a board game shop in Spain, I think. And it was just regular retail. And I thought, well, okay, yeah, this is an opportunity. Because, hey, we were trying to fund an international move, and that's expensive when you're moving from Malta to the UK to northern Washington to southern Washington. So I figured, hey, I could probably make a little bit of money off of this one because it's out of print and it hasn't been widely so I was a little cutthroat there, a little mercenary, I guess. But that's why Blue Moon City. That was just pure greed and avarice. Stone Age, same thing. Did I get rid of Stone Age? Yes, I did. Exact same thing because I had Stone Age and I had Style as the Goal and I had some other really rare, hard to find promos for it. And the thing is, Stone Age is getting a 10-year anniversary this year. It's going to get reprinted. I knew I was going to want to get the reprint anyway because it's going to have a two-sided board, like a whole new way to play. And as time has gone on, I have found I care less and less about promos. I don't chase them the way I used to. I don't scour the Board Game Geek geek store when new promos are available and make sure I get them, even though now I'm in America, they're so much easier to get. And so I realized, hey, as a bundle package, Stone Age, with all this hard-to-get stuff, that's going to get a pretty penny. And so I said goodbye. Not because of the game. It's a great game. Alrighty. Right. Let's see. Lewis and Clark. Oh, man. This is such a brilliant game. This one I liked more than Jen. We both love the card stuff, the multi-use cards and the melded with the worker placement, but Jen did not really dig the racing. And I have to admit, I'm just kind of, I so wish that game, it's got such a cool, the cards and the worker placement, all, and the presentation, art from Vincent Dutray is so brilliant. We just wish it was driving something other than a race game. You know, I'm just trying to get to be the first across the finish line. Because if we're going to play a race game, we'll probably just play Steampunk Rally. Because that's just so simple and fun and fast. The problem with Lewis and Clark, it's brilliant, but it's too long. It is such a long game. For all it is a race. Who gets across the finish line first? There's no, oh, but look at all the other stuff I did. It doesn't matter. Did you get across the finish line first? We like games where there's a lot of stuff. So racing games are, we enjoy them. But if we're going to play one, we probably want a quicker one. Because we find that more satisfying. Lewis and Clark, brilliant, too long. Didn't keep it for that reason. Small City. I'll tell you why this one. Small City, big box, stupidly big box, couldn't keep it. Why didn't that come? I mean, it did not need to be in such a ridiculously oversized. This was a storage space thing. Not only was I cutting weight, I was cutting box size stuff. Great game. Very big, very heavy. That's another knock against it. Jen and I, if we get to go back and play a game, if it's not Gloomhaven, we probably want a quicker, lighter game because we have to relearn the game to play it again because chances are we won't have played it for over a year or 2 years. So I just knew those were all problems with Small City, and so I got rid of it. Tikal, another big, oversized box. No reason for it to be so big, but also mean. And once upon a time, we weren't that bothered by it, but as time has gone on, we're more bothered by it. Plus, Tikal, what is with, I mean, it's weird. They give you 10 action points, and the rules call them APs. They might as well call them 10 analysis paralysis. They might just call them APPs, analysis paralysis points, instead of action points. Because, man, that game just gets so grindy at the end. And I've liked it. You know, Jen and I, we played it because this is one of the older games we had. So we played it a bunch before we got into our new situation where Rahdo runs through means I don't play things that much. And yeah, between the analysis paralysis and the the aggressive area control and the box size, it didn't make sense to keep. Oh, Lost Expedition, man. I'm not lying. I don't want to get rid of any of these games. They're all really good. Lost Expedition, especially so. Very neat cooperative game. Really harsh. I was just, if we're going to sit down and play a cooperative game, honestly, if we're going to sit down and play a cooperative game these days, it's going to be Dragonfire, or it's going to be, what do you call it? My number 3 game of all time. Gloomhaven. And there's just no reason to keep other cooperative games. I keep Pandemic. I mean, maybe there's going to be more co-op games in here. But I can only have so many cooperative games. Here's an interesting tidbit, by the way. I love co-op games. My favorite thing of all time, it has to be a special game for Jen to like it. And a co-op game. Because make no mistake, Lost Expedition is a super monster hard game that'll beat you down, and it's very unrelenting. Actually, I guess it's not a secret. I've talked about this before. That's a problem for Jen. Jen prefers the roller coaster. You got your highs and your lows. It's going great. It's going terrible. Oh, it's going great again. That doesn't happen with Lost Expedition. It's just going worse, 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 worse. So it didn't make sense to keep it. I liked it a lot. And actually, I could see keeping it as a solo game too, because I liked it more than her. But, you know, hey, we play games together. That's why I keep games. All right. Oh, Raiders of the North Sea. I'll tell you why I got rid of this one. Paulo wanted it. Yeah, we were talking, and you know, Paulo got first dibs on stuff, and I don't remember what he got, but you know, I let him know first of all, I asked him, hey, is there anything that you want? And actually, there were some folks in Malta as well that I said, tell me if there's anything you want, and even if I wasn't thinking about getting rid of it, I'll get rid of it, because I got to get rid of some stuff, and if you're really passionate about it, I'll be happy just knowing it went, because why do I need to hold on to these things? I'm never going to get to play the Subdivision again. I don't want to say that. That's terrible to say out loud. Ugh. Oi. Oh, world's smallest violin playing the string. But anyway, like I said, Paulo, he really wanted. I had the full set. It included the expansion stuff. He was really keen on all of it, so it went to him. Apocalypse Chaos, same thing I just said about Lost Expedition. I love it. Jen likes it too, but again, it's just so harsh and so unrelenting. I just didn't get to see playing it much. If we could play a game, you know, again, Gloomhaven or Dragonfire. Capitals. Too long. Great SimCity game. And actually, you know what? I don't think that's fair. The last time we played Capitals, there were some folks visiting us, and they really wanted to play it, so we sat down and played it with them. And it was insane. It must have been 3+ hours. Of course, it was the first time they'd played it. Jen and I, we'd played it a few times. And as good as it is, really sharp, heavy SimCity style game, that incredible length kind of just stuck in my head as kind of a sour note. And I know that's not fair, because if you just play it 2-player and we know it, it'd be quicker. But I know as soon as I bring out Jen would have to meet it. Oh, it was so long. Do we have to play again? You know, so it's not its fault. It is a longer game, but you know, it's just kind of that weird quirk of timing. And so that made it an easier choice to get rid of that one. 100 Swords, the Red Dragon's Dungeon. Oh, this is cool. This is fun. There's no reason to get rid of this. Was this one that I got rid of because there was a person in Malta who wanted? Maybe. I don't remember for sure. I know. Because it's a dumb thing. This has to do with packaging. It's a neat little deck builder. Watch my run through. I think I've done a run through for every single one of these things. And you know, as soon as I've done a run through for it, I don't need to keep it because I'm never going to get to play it again because I got to play the next game. I got to play this and film this for you guys next. Right. So the thing is, it's a game that comes, you know, all the different expansions. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They all come in, there's no box. The thing that bugged me about it was all the expansion stuff I had for it, I had to put in just like kind of those generic deck builder boxes, you know, that Magic the Gathering uses, and I hated that on my wall, or on my shelf. It just didn't look good. If it had ever had a nice size box that everything could fit in, it probably would have made the cut, because it's a really sharp little game. But the box killed it. Dale of Merchants. I knew that Dale of Merchants Collector's Edition was coming. So again, not that I've gotten it yet, but I didn't need to. It was also a problem too where I was having to keep multiple boxes. I mean, so many of these boxes, if the expansions fit in the box, that's a real feather in its cap, and I'll be more inclined to keep it. If I have to have multiple copies on my shelf devoted to one game, or multiple boxes, that kind of bugs me. That was happening with Dale of Merchants. Plus, I knew it was coming. Tale of Pirates. Oh, I wanted to keep that one. The thing is, sorry, it had I think it was a 10-game campaign, and we finished the campaign, and so like, okay, I'd like to play it. I mean, it's cool. I could imagine playing through the campaign again, or playing, you know, several of the later missions had really great legs to it. But hey, we finished the story. Let's just say goodbye. That's why there's going to be a few more like that too, where we finished the story. So he said, okay, we could go back and enjoy it more, but let's get new stories. So that's why Tale of Pirates. Man, if it ever gets an expansion, I'll be very sad. But man, what a fantastic game. Caelus Magna Carta. We played that one a lot. In our early days, that was our go-to travel game back when I was working full-time. And you know, when we went on vacations, we would take games and we'd play them. Chaos Magna Carta has just gotten a ton of play, more than most of my games, and so didn't need to keep it for that reason. Plus, these days, because of the nature of Rahdo Runs Through, if we travel, we're almost guaranteed not. If we go on vacation, we go on a vacation to get away from playing games, if such a thing makes sense. So, as our ultimate travel game, it just didn't make much sense to keep it, even though it is brilliant and lovely. And oh man, my copy was so beat up too. But if we move on to Artists, oh, this is a nice one. It's basically musical chairs set in Arthurian, or the Arthurian round table. It was nice. It was a fun little puzzle, but it was just kind of, it was good, not great. And we've got other, if we're going to play a Kramer Kiesling game, there are certainly other ones. I'd rather play Palaces of Carrara, which, it's also from Kramer Kiesling, but it does something much more interesting with the rotating. I would like to try Artists someday with more than 2, but it's gone now. To call Lost Temple. You know what? I like to call 2 a lot more than to call 1, but since I was getting rid of to call 1 and it ended up going to a friend of mine in Malta, I just felt like I should get rid of to call 2 as well. And I didn't want to. I probably would have kept, if I didn't have to call 1 and got rid of it, I might have kept to call 2. Although again, it had that same problem of a box that was way bigger than it needed to be and all that. But it's a good game. I was reminded of that when and actually it's weird, I mean, that's why I filmed this and did a run through, because I knew I was getting rid of it. And okay, before I get rid of it, before it goes to Mark in Malta, I gotta play it and film it again, and I was very sad, but, you know, it just made sense for that to kind of be a bundle to go to him. If I remember that. I'm pretty sure that's right. Then we've got Bremerhaven. Okay. So, you'll notice this one has an extra thing. I don't know if you're even watching. I don't know. I haven't even decided how I'm going to put all this on screen yet. But you'll notice it says, got rid of the international move, and the official variant makes this so much better. I decided to get rid of it. And then I said, okay, well, I got to film it and play it. And so it was earmarked to go. And then I was talking with the designer. He said, oh, thanks so much for covering it. And I was like, yeah, it's such a really great game, but here's my problems with it. And he said, yeah, here's my official variant to fix those. I'm like, wah! Why am I only finding out about this now? I might have held on to it. Because, yeah, I mean, doesn't matter. It's all gone now. Haspel Connect, that's a good game. It's dry, though. And I'll be honest, the subject matter is not very evocative. You know, the notion of medieval Germanic strip mining, it works really well. And, you know, and it was, you know, I say dry, that's not fair. It's actually, for a Euro, fairly atmospheric. You know, the way that the water pools up in the mine and you got to pump it out and get the coal, the coal. I don't know. It's just, I thought, I tried to imagine, okay, would I want to play, you know, for all of these, or a lot of these anyway, you know, thought is, okay, if I could play anything, would I want to play that? And if not, why would I not want to play it? And the reason I wouldn't want to play Haspel Connect, I'll be honest, it's the subject matter. Dirty coal. Coal is what coal is, and I'm not saying it was wrong. I mean, it's part of the Industrial Revolution in Germany. But it's just, you know, I said no to filming what looked like a very, very good board game a few months ago, because it was a Pipeline, I think it was called. Because I looked at it, it was all about being the most successful modern day oil, you know, running pipelines, and like, that's just, the subject matter is such, you know, as a card-carrying liberal like I am, I just like, and oh, going back in time and digging up coal, no, just not interested. So, the gameplay is cool, but I just feel dirty. That's why it was a turn-off to play. Alrighty, and then moving on. Hanging Garden, I think it's great. Got rid of it because Jen liked Honshu more. I do not. I think Hanging Garden is 10 times better than Honshu, but you know what? Honshu has a much tinier box. So, Hanging Gardens didn't make the cut. Okay, and oh my gosh, where are we? Jeez, I gotta speed this up, folks. We're gonna be here all day. And I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna get it right up. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Oh! Okay, sorry. Apologies in advance to the other games. I'm just gonna try and be a little bit more cutthroat and blunt with, or, you know, just because I gotta go. This is gonna, I mean, how long have I been filming so far? Oh, the camera's so far away I can't even see it. 25 minutes, I think? Yeah, let's move on. Alrighty, page up. Page up. Or, sorry, alright. I want to talk about all these. I want to sing their praises. Even with you, I promised I'd be cutthroat and just say how crappy they are. There's nothing crappy about Artifacts, Inc. I mean, Ryan Lockett, dice game. We've got so many dice games, and I just can't keep them all. And the same thing for La Granja No Siesta. We've got so many roll and write games. Just can't keep it all. It just wasn't the best of the best. I have better dice games. I have better roll and write games. And so, yeah. And if I get to sit down and play a Ryan Lockett game, you better believe it's going to be trying to continue to play near and far. So Artifacts Inc. will just never get to play. It just won't. Phalanx was a neat game. And I remember talking at the time about how impressive it was that, you know, it's kind of a dudes on a map game that Jen and I could actually enjoy, but still, at the end of the day, it's dudes on the map, so why play a game where we're emulating warfare? I know that's a big turn-off for Jen, even if the rest of the gameplay is good. St. Malo, another roll and write game, and a great travel game. And as I've already talked about, I don't need to have a million of those sorts of things anymore. And honestly, there are much better roll and writes, I think. Did St. Malo make my top 10 roll and writes? I don't think it did. I liked it a lot, but yeah. And again, if I were a normal person, I would have kept it and enjoyed playing it. Garden Dice. Yeah. Again, it's going to be the same thing. I got too many dice games. And honestly, don't tell Jen I got rid of that one. Because I think she liked it more than me. Also, that is definitely a game. It's one of those games where, as we're playing it, I'm constantly in the back of my head thinking, man, this would be so much cooler with more players. And that kind of sours the experience for me a little bit, because that's a game where I'm putting down tiles that generate water, and other players want to put tiles next to mine so the water travels downhill from my tile to their tile. And with only 2 players, it just doesn't happen as much. So that's a pretty common refrain too, is like, I just can't enjoy it. Why would I play this, which will make me think the whole time, man, we should really get somebody over here to play this, when I can play something where I don't feel that way. So that's what happened with Garden Dice. Let's see. Roxxon. One word. Zombies. Neat co-op game. The theme made it easy to get rid of that because Jen doesn't like zombies. Isle of Trains. It was a good multi-use card game, but there are much better ones. The coolest thing about it, in all honesty, was the form factor of the tiny little box. It's weird, too. Why did I even bother getting rid of little boxes? Little boxes are hard to stack on shelves. You pretty much have to devote well, there's a bunch right there, and there's a bunch right there. It's so much easier just to put big boxes on and not try and figure things out. So it went. Dairyman, another cool, fun little dice game that I've got dice game that I enjoy more. And if I'm gonna, I'd rather play Favor of the Pharaoh if I'm gonna play a fun, fast little dice game, just because it has a bigger experience. These games, I mean, there's just kind of like a sweet spot for me and Jen. Too big and too long and too epic and grandiose. Okay, that can be a problem. Too tiny and just kind of almost fluffy, that can be a problem too. I mean, again, these kind of, hour-long, mid-weight Euros, that's kind of our sweet spot. So anything that gets smaller or bigger than that is going to be more inclined to be culled. Cosmic Run. What was the deal with that? Isn't there another Cosmic Run coming? I think so. And I thought, because Cosmic Run Regeneration, I thought, okay, well, you know what, he'll probably send me that when we played some Cosmic Run. Let's get rid of this, make room for Cosmic Run Regeneration. Serengeti Race for Life. I think that one's wrong. Did I actually have? Is that right? I think that's wrong. I got rid of that one because the base game doesn't have enough. And I know he's working on, right, yeah, didn't I cover that? Oh man, it's all a blur now. I should have really prepped this ahead of time. Yeah, I think that might be wrong. I think I might have 115. I remember getting rid of this saying, okay, yeah, there's no reason to keep this because there wasn't enough. I mean, it's a deck builder. Deck builders need more stuff. And I didn't have it. And plus, if I'm going to play deck builder, I'll just play Dominion anyway. Super Motherload. Oh, that's Dig Dug, the board game. That's right. Yeah, if I'm going to play a deck builder, I'm just going to play Dominion anyway. So, no matter how clever it is. This is another one where, yeah. A neat game, though. Fun. Word Domination. If I'm going to play a cool word game, I'm just going to play Paperback. Zangguo. Oh, man. I think, oh, yeah, this one, that one was just right on the hairy edge of too complex and brain-burning for Jen. I remember when we played it, I liked it a lot, but I'm a much more instinctual, intuitive player. I'll just say, this makes sense, let's go for it. Where Jen will grind and grind and grind and come up with every single permutation for what could possibly be her most efficient move. This is why she always beats me, or almost always does. So I had a good time playing it. For Jen, it was too close to getting on the too crunchy side. We had kept it, but ultimately I figured, she'd probably end up crunching on it again if we ever went back, so that's why it went. Dark Horse. Oh, man. This is an older one we've had for a longer time, and it's a good game. It's a good dice worker placement game, but there are... It was one of the first dice worker placement games, you know, right there with Kingsburg and Alien Frontiers, and so I really loved it. But the design for dice worker placement has evolved so much since Dark Horse. It still stands up. It's a good... It's a dice worker placement crossed with Catan, but there are so... I mean... Coimbra, or of course I hadn't played at the time. Marco Polo, dice worker placement. Dark Horse hasn't kept up. Basically, Through the Desert. Jen likes this more than me. To me, it's a little bit too in-your-face confrontational. Jen is more amenable to chessy style, go style, move, counter move, cut you off, keep you from what you want. Me, I don't like it at all. I think we only other kept it because those camels were so cute and because Jen liked it more. The Colonists. Ah, man, such a great game. And I remember I raved about how great it is that you can just, you know, pause your game in between, but you really couldn't. I was kind of stretching. If they had done just a little bit more work to make the teardown and setup for that game as smooth and satisfying as Seven Wonders, it probably would have made the cut. But it didn't, because remember I had to kind of come up with my own rules. Anytime I got to come up with my own house rules to make something work, that's a problem. We could never play Colonists the way it's supposed to be, an epic 8 to 10 hour long all day session. That will never happen for us, so it's gone. Plus it was a really big box too. Castles Burgundy, the card game, that was killed by the dice game. We would just never play a card game. We would always play the, at a time it made sense because, hey, we want to play full Burgundy, it's too long, let's play card game. Now, we want to play full Burgundy, it's too long, let's play dice. Card game lived in the middle. I almost kept it because it's a great solo game, but I never, let's be honest, I never play solo games either. If I had more of a cause to do that, it might have stayed, but it didn't. Tashkalar, again, we both like it a lot, but why would we play a game where we're fighting? We just don't have to. There's too many opportunities to not waste time fighting, even if we like it. Okay. Rococo. I'll be honest, folks. I think this game is brilliant. Jen just thought it was okay. I couldn't tell you why. I wonder if I talked about this in my final thoughts for Rococo. I need to go back and look. Because I remember we both thought it was neat, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. All the multi-layer stuff you do with these cards, and the card drafting, and the area control. And this area control we like. And it just didn't resonate with Jen. I don't remember why. It's been so long. It's been so long. You'll notice I never did a follow-up. I never got the expansion for it. Maybe I should have. But something's got to go. Euphoria, we have Charterstone. And, you know, Charterstone is a streamlined version of Euphoria that works great for 2. And, you know, even after we finished it, I would rather play Charterstone than Euphoria. Plus, Euphoria, you really want to have more than 2. Another one of those. Clans of Caledonia. I have no good reason to get rid of this. I love it. It's beautiful. You know, physically, the production of it. It came into our lives right at this time when we were moving. What date? When did I do the run through for it? Because I remember we got it way late. And at that time, I just thinking, okay, this is cool. This is too big. This just has too many moving parts. We don't have time for this. Let's move on. And I just got rid of it. I think it was kind of a victim of timing more than anything else. If I'd gotten it when it first came out, if I'd played it when it was on Kickstarter, maybe. But it was an easy no. Oh, plus, I remember thinking about it more now. The box, it's hard to get everything to fit back in the box without the box having to, you know, kind of grow. And that kind of bugged me too. It needed a bigger box. So that was... it's so heavy, it's so big, we don't have time to play this, the box doesn't work well. Okay, let's go. Let's move it on. But it's really good. Temporum? Oh, man. Okay, be cutthroat. We would play Dominion. We would just play Dominion. If we're going to play a Donald X Vaccarino game that has tons of cool replayability, we would play it. I mean, if you brought it here, I would happily sit down and have a grand old time playing it. If Jen and I were looking at something to pull off the shelf, we would pull Dominion first. Pay Dirt. I guess it's weird. I talked with Jen about this one. Because after, we'd only played the prototype. And when we got... Oh, wait, no, there was something. There was something I didn't like about it. And here's the thing, folks. I don't remember what. You can go back and watch my run-through. When I talked in the final thoughts, because I remember I was talking to Patrick Nickel, the publisher of it, and I told him, Patrick, you should really make this change. And he said, yeah, I talked to the designer, he's the guy, and we're not going to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, it's still a great game anyway, but I really think you should have done something this way. And honestly, for the life of me now, I don't remember what that was. And then plus, on top of that, I remember talking with Jen about it, because he ultimately sent me the final version of the game. I'm like, hey, Ellie, let's get out and play this one. She says, oh, that was the one where you're sifting a lot of dirt, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't remember really wanting to play that. And like, so again, it's kind of that same coal, oil, raping the earth type thing. So, mining is just kind of is a turnoff for Jen now. Same way beer is a turnoff for both of us. So there was a combination of things there. 101, neat little clever game. We don't need it. We don't need more neat little clever games. Plus, it was a really odd-sized box, if I recall correctly. Epic Resort. I love this game because it's one of those games where I've talked about this. Jen and I, we really like games that are kind of cruel and harsh to us, and this game can really be kind of cruel and harsh. Jen found it to be too cruel and harsh. When the bad guys come and they can just wipe out everything you've done. I didn't mind. For Jen, it was a little bit too much, a little too overbearing. Citrus. Oh, such a great game, but again, a bit more cutthroat than it needs to be. Adventure of D, can you keep a secret? It's getting a reprint. And I knew that. I'd heard from the publisher, big, lavish, totally new art, which it deserves. I don't know when it's coming out, but I knew it's coming out, so I knew I could get rid of Adventure of D. Otherwise, I probably would have kept it. I mean, that's one of those cute little fun, super tiny games that we would keep. Feast for Odin, box too big. And I talked about this in the run-through. Hated the random elements of that. They so don't belong in this game. In spite of it, it's such a great game. We kept it. We kept it for quite a while. But you know what? I would never play it. I would always play Agricola because Agricola does not have... And I know so many people have told me I'm wrong. I disagree. I disagree with Buhbye. I think the random draw of those weapon cards was enough of a spoiler. I think it was a terrible mistake and an otherwise near flawless game that I would have kept if not for that. Oh, plus the box was big and I was trying to save space. Fleet. That's another one of those. Great game. Did not like having to keep 2 boxes of Fleet on the... If it all could have gone in one nice box, I would have been much happier. Like I said, sometimes I was just being stupid. That was a stupid reason. Project Elite. I knew the reprint was coming from CMON. So it was a no-brainer. Helionox The Last Sunset. Again, I knew a reprint was coming, and I've got it right here. My deluxe edition. Where everything fits into one box, yay! Instead of the other one where, it didn't quite work. So that was that one. Mechs vs. Minion. We finished the story. We finished the campaign. And again... I love that they, spoiler alert, they had you could go back and play through hardcore difficulty. We're never going to do that. We had our fun time with it. It was easy to move on. Plus, there was a guy in Malta who wanted it so bad because it was a very hard game to get in Malta. Still is. Colony. Where's the expansion, Bezier? I said when I filmed it, it's a great game. It needs expansions or it goes. It's been years now. Haven't heard of any expansions, so it went. London Dread, we finished the story, did all 4 missions, had a great time. Don't need to go back. Automobiles. Oh, man. It's a great bag builder, one of the best, but we have Orleans, which is the best. Or Altiplano, which maybe is the best. Haven't tried the Traveler expansion yet that maybe supplants Orleans. Plus, Jen hates the drag racing, the car racing. That was always kind of a turn off. The 2-player got much better with the expansion, but still... I would have much rather if it had been different subject matter, it probably would have stayed. Steam Time, oh man, that was really good. Steam Time is why I got rid of Goa, because when I got rid of Goa, I was thinking, oh, we have Steam Time, that's great. Why did I get rid of Steam Time? I can't think of a good reason to get rid of Steam Time. I liked everything about that game. Maybe that was one of the ones that somebody wanted. Maybe Paulo wanted it. Maybe Paulo has Steam Time now. I don't remember. I can't think of why I would have gotten a Steam Time. That was a really good one. Keeper, I can definitely say we would never play Keeper over Keyflower. We just wouldn't. We would always just play Keyflower. Keeper's really cool. And that foldy puzzle gimmicky thing. But you know what? That was one of those games... yeah. It's just Keyflower killed Keeper. And Harvest. What was that? Oh, that was the worker placement game where you just have one worker, right? Or a couple of workers? Yeah. No, it was a good little worker placement game. Oh, it had nice replayability too. But, it was good. It was a good, solid little game, but not great. Just good. Gold West. Oh, man. That's really great. And, really liked it. The area control out in the woods is a little... And honestly, at the end of the day, it's great, but it's not as good as Macau. And they, it and Macau are so similar with the whole, planning for your future. Where do you put these cubes on this, either this circular disc or this ladder in Gold West? Macau is just better. Feld wins, so Gold West wasn't good enough to sleep. Transatlantic, same problem. Concordia is better than Transatlantic. Actually, that's not true. Transatlantic is a better game, but we have so much Concordia stuff. I'm really invested in Concordia, and I didn't want to... I felt like, okay, I should keep Concordia or I should keep Transatlantic. You may recall, in my run-through, my final thoughts, I talked a lot about that, about which one is better, and I was really on the fence. I think Transatlantic is the smarter design. I have more Concordia stuff. Concordia won for that reason. Edge of Humanity, neat, needs expansion content. Plus, I was really unhappy with the... I mean, I talked about this in the run-through. I was really unhappy with the fundamental screw-up, the thematic screw-up. Go watch my run-through to hear why. Dumb thing that should not have happened. Neat, fun game. We enjoyed it. And, Jen really likes the survival stuff. And if we kind of downplayed the zombies and whatnot, or the zombies or the aliens or whatever, it was really cool. I love the promise of that system, and they fumbled it. And so it just made me unhappy to keep it. So, and plus, I don't know if expansion content is ever coming for it. And it's a deck builder, so you need expansion content. Throat. Guilds. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Skipping a little bit, jumping forward. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. We have not finished it. We will never finish it. It's one of those things we would love to finish it, but it'll just never happen. Plus, I'll be honest, I always dig it. Jen could sit down and really have a great time with these kinds of investigation games, or have a miserable, terrible time. And it's so swingy and kind of unpredictable, it's just not worth it. Wibble, great party game. I only kept it because maybe if I ever needed a party situation, but let's be honest, I'm never going to need a party game. If I ever did, it would have kept it, but otherwise. Jab, we actually played that a fair bit, and liked it at the time. But now we have other race and slam cards down on the game as fast as you can that we would play over Jab. Simple as that. Alrighty. Tourney would always play Trois. And that's a shame, because Tourney is really good, but we would just play Trois. Bomb Squad. Didn't finish the storyline on this, and man, I would have liked to, but what was it? That's the Hanabi game, real-time, co-op, programming the robot. It's because there's another Hanabi game. I don't remember what it is. It's not Hanabi either. There's a few different Hanabi games where you give clues to each other. And Bomb Squad was not the one we kept. I don't remember which one we kept, though. I'm drawing a blank, and I'm only halfway through. Come on, man. Automania, it's cool. I kept Kanban. Greed, stupid theme. Why didn't they stick with the original theme, which was, I think it was Prohibition era, which would have been much more amenable. Jen, I mean, we played it a few times, really liked it. Wasn't crazy about the memory element, but, oh man, stupid theme. Too Grand Theft Auto-y. Ugh. Johari, liked that a lot when we first played it. Love the, one of those, I mentioned this earlier, one of those ones where, man, we should really have more players. There's certain elements that don't work as well with two as others. Certain competitions for certain types of gems. Prodigal Club, it was neat, but too many moving parts. At the end of the day, Last Will is just better. It's cleaner, it's simpler, it's more streamlined. For us, it was a more entertaining game. Shadow Rift, loved it to pieces, was destroyed by Aeon's End. Master's Trials, Wrath of Magmaroth, I loved it. Jen liked it. As a co-op, though, it was too hard, too unforgiving, so she didn't want to play it anymore. Edo. I talked about this. Edo by itself is not great. Because it's got an awesome programming system for a really kind of boring ho-hum pick up and deliver style game. The expansion really helped a lot. But at the end, it's still a pick up and deliver game. And while I would have kept it, it's the pick up and deliver I would have kept. It made my top 10 pick up and deliver games. Pick up and deliver is one of my least favorite mechanisms. So it went. Gnomes of Zavendor. Really cool game. Stock market, commodity speculation stuff. But I think just as time has gone on, we're just less interested in that topic. That's why, Symphony number 9, we were like, oh, another stock market commodity thing. Stockpile. I just think that doesn't work for us. Simurg. I like this one a lot more than Jen, quite frankly. I thought it was really great. Jen thought it was okay. So we didn't keep it. Never got a chance to try the expansion. Maybe that would have turned it around. Kemble's Cascade. Neat. I did not appreciate the fact that we had to introduce our own homebrew variant to make it work for us, so we made it go away. Nauticus. Why play it when we can play Carrara? Goonies Adventure Card Game. I talked about this at the time, how it's basically Pandemic in card form, and that's true, but we could just play Pandemic. And as cool and as clever as I thought that was, it's still not something I like. Plus, Jen has absolutely no interest in the subject matter, and I don't have that much either, so we didn't have a nostalgic pull, and we'd just rather play Pandemic at the end of the day. Prosperity, another one of those ones where, oh my God, again, I came up with a house rule to give it legs, give it replayability, but why do that work? I kind of resented the game that it made me have to finish the design, so we got rid of it. Mangrovia, another one that's better with more than 2. Or it's perfectly fine with 2, but that action selection thing and the territory grabbing is be so much better with 3 or more. Paperclip Railways, brilliant game. Probably the most shoddy production there is. It's just so ugly. It's totally shallow. Love the gameplay. Wouldn't want to play it because it's so ugly. If Tony ever went back and did a deluxe reprint of this with really proper, not paper thin tiles and stuff like that, I'd probably seek it out. Pyratunes. What is that? Oh, that was a competitive real-time game. We like cooperative real-time more than competitive. Harbor. Jen likes that one a lot. I liked it too. Why did I get rid of it? I couldn't tell you. Maybe because I got rid of Harvest and I thought, okay, let's just get rid of the whole series. Maybe. I don't remember. It was good. Maybe it just wasn't great. It was just good, not great. Valley of the Kings. I think I talked about this before. This is another one of those, I don't want to have multiple boxes devoted. If Valley of the Kings had one big box and I could put everything in one, I probably would have kept it. Because no, I might have, but that plus the fact that a lot of the cards in there are needlessly take-that-y. Spectaculum, another commodities game. I think we've kind of grown out of commodities speculation. A New Amsterdam. I've often talked about how much I love and admire and respect games that tackle hard, tough topics and, don't flinch away from putting us in the role of, maybe history's villains, like being a slave owner in Endeavor and New Amsterdam, basically stealing Native American land. I don't have a problem with it. Jen has more of a problem with this kind of stuff than I do. And so, she intellectually appreciates that kind of thing and can say, yeah, I really, appreciate, the wider worldview perspective it's done. But, that kind of games as art pushing agendas and moving forward and, being informative about the state of the world, that's kind of a me thing. It's not really a Jen thing. So that was a problem with New Amsterdam. Cargo Noir. Awesome little game. As a gateway. Kind of kept it around because it would be a great gateway if we ever needed it. We don't need gateways. Plus, again, like, what was it? Greed. Please don't come up with a cool, edgy theme. Jen hated the theme for that, being an international weapons smuggler and all that stuff. I don't think you were a drug smuggler, but you could have been. Such a turnoff, needlessly so. Such a lovely production, great auction. But anyway, Treasure Lair, good, neat, fun. We both liked it. I'd happily play it right now, just not good enough. Carthago, same kind of thing, a little bit too dry and dusty. Bethel Wood, neat. Co-op, Moncala, neat idea. But if we're going to play a Moncala game, we're just going to play Trajan. I think I own one Moncala game now, Trajan. Space Cadets Away Mission. Neat dudes on a map, a tactical skirmish game. Why would I play that when I can play, I was going to say Charterstone, but I mean to say Gloomhaven. Trollhalla. Nice, too light, too simple. Family game. And, I mean, as time has gone on, we just have not kept family games. PAX. Oh, this is another one. We have never played a game of PAX where Jen did not betray and go with the Romans and stick it out. And I kind of got sick of that. It's not the game's fault. It's Jen's fault. I mean, because there's other ways you can play that game, but she was just so rote. And given her, given the same input, Jen will always give you the same output. That's why I always go on about how important it is to have variable setups. Because if it's not variable, Jen will pretty much do the same thing every time. And that was a problem with PAX. Right, Tumult Royale, another real-time competitive game. We prefer real-time cooperative. This is not the first. I think we've kept one real-time competitive game, and that's Galaxy Trucker. And any other real-time stuff we're going to keep, it's going to be cooperative. I think that's going to be true moving forward. Shadow over the Empire, neat, fun little puzzly game. Too aggressive, didn't need to keep it. Back to the Future, it's a weird game. It really is. And it works, but if you're not going to play that somewhat regularly, having to get yourself back in the mindset of how to make that game flow, it doesn't flow naturally and smoothly. And I can understand why some people didn't like it. We did like it, but I know just trying, I mean, you have to like play half a game before everything clicks and everything feels right. And that's just not a situation that makes sense for us because we don't get to go back and play games over and over again. Hellas, we've grown out of dudes on a map. Even cute little adorable dudes on a map. Nefarious, it was neat, but it's another one of those you got to have more players. Santa Cruz, it's one of the old ones. We played it a bunch. We played it a lot when we first had it. Didn't feel like we needed to play it anymore. Direnji, that game needed to come in a bigger box with components to help us keep track of what we know. Too much memory. Bali, that was a funny one. We loved Rapa Nui. I got rid of Rapa Nui because, hey, Bali's coming. It's going to be a new upgraded version of it. Played Bali, like, why did I get rid of Rapa Nui? I like that theme so much more. Got rid of Bali. We'll look for Rapa Nui. That one just didn't stick with us. It was a neat, I remember thinking it's a cool, neat reverse tower defense, but it just wasn't good enough to keep, I don't think. Because it was another one of those, like I said right up front, where I just don't remember what we liked about it. I remember liking it, but I don't remember what we liked about it. Okay, then that's strong enough reason to get rid of it. Agents of Smersh, loved it. But, well, first, there's a lot of extra content out there that kind of bugs me that I don't have. Not just the promos, but like this, Swagman's Hope and these really cool things. And I know I'll never get to play those, but I want to have them, and I can't have them because they're not widely available. Fine, let's just get rid of the whole thing. Plus, if we're going to play through storybook stuff, it's going to be Near and Far, or it's going to be Gloomhaven. Super Hot, the card game. Jen didn't like all the guns. So that was ultimately going to be a solo game for me. And I liked it, but not enough to keep it. Isle of Dr. Necro. Oh, this is a heartbreaker. Hey, this is one of my formative starter games. But here's another funky thing. It got a reprint with new stuff. And so I got rid of my first one. Got the reprint with the new stuff. Really didn't like the presentation. Kind of missed the old one. Realized, hey, we're never going to play it again anyway. We're never going to play any of these games again. So why keep one where, again, for me, it kind of took a step back. It was a better game by every measure, but I really liked the presentation of the original. Mundus Novus. Had this happen before. Really liked it, had played it, enjoyed it, but then we went out and played it with 4 players, and it went on way too long, and that kind of soured us on it. Not the fault of the game. Probably if we played it again as a 2-player game, we'd like it again. But the last time we played it, we had a less than ideal thing, because we don't like playing 4-player games because they're so long. Medici versus Strozzi, destroyed by Medici, the card game. Absolutely destroyed. Bottle Cap Viking, it was nice, but not nice enough. Hamburgum, destroyed by Concordia. Just absolutely obliterated. No reason to keep it. Right. And let's see, moving on. Oh, Robin Run. I'll be honest, I made the decision to get rid of that before we played it. It's another one. If you go watch the run through, you'll notice it's filmed in Malta, but it came out months later. It was one of those last games I played, and I'd already lined it up to sell, and then we finally, because I just, okay, there's no way we're going to like this. And then we actually liked it. Although, again, I don't feel too bad because it's better with more than 2, but oh, it works so well with 2. I would definitely take it back, though. I might, if the timing had been different, it might not have gone. Caesar and Cleopatra, these 2-player, we sit across a line, and we try to outmaneuver each other. I ultimately got rid of Battle Line. I got rid of Caesar and Cleopatra. I mean, they're all good games, but if I'm going to play any of them, I'll just play Capo to Copy. Really. That's the best one. Paramedics Clear. Just exactly. It's almost the same story as Rob and Run. We actually played it. We thought, okay, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we don't need to keep it. Okay, I've got somebody who wants it. Fine. Then we went and filmed it. You'll notice Jen and I played it together. And it was like a few weeks later. We played it and filmed it. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, man, that was so much fun. Yeah, I mean, we're playing it. I'm like, but honey, we're getting rid of it. I'm like, what? Why are we getting rid of it? I'm like, you said you saw it. So it was too late. I kind of regret it. Would probably take it back now. A great real-time cooperative game. Really sharp. The sound effects. I regret that one, definitely. But I misread Jen. I thought she just thought it was okay. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll get rid of it. But actually, then when we played it again, she loved it. And Through the Desert. Oh my gosh. Is Through the Desert on here twice? Through the Desert. English edition. Through the Desert. Oh, it's... Okay, I've never had I've never had this version. Wait, why is it on here twice? Board Game Geek, I hate this. Through the Desert... Stupid multiple editions. Okay, sorry, there's another one. I've gotten rid of it twice for the same reason. I talked about it earlier. Folks, we're done. Oh my gosh, that took forever. I hope you enjoyed the ramble. I'll be back next month with something that'll probably be a little bit shorter. But thanks as always for your support, and talk to you later. Have a nice day. So long. Bye-bye. Oh, so tired.